Hello and welcome to episode 12 of the PI Filmmaker podcast. Now for this week's episode I've recorded an interview with filmmaker Will Herbert. Now Will's someone who I've now known for 20 years, he's a super experienced filmmaker, he's directed short films, he's directed music videos, he's done commercials, he's directed soap operas, and he's currently directing comedy sketches for Joke TV. Now this chat was recorded on the city streets of Manchester. We did this outside of a bar, we bought a drink obviously, and we did this with a couple of lapel mics, so please bear with the background noise. Enjoy. I'm currently with Will Herbert in the middle of Manchester City Centre. We're outdoors on a sunny day, on a Wednesday. This will be going out on the Friday, so excuse any city sounds that we're hearing, but I'm here to speak to Will Herbert, who's a very experienced filmmaker. We did the same master's course 20 years ago.
That's right, 20 years ago.
What do you actually remember about that time? Because you did a master's in fiction film production.
I did,
and that's how we met, because you were the year above me.
Yes, that's right. I was the year above you, wasn't I? What do I remember about that time? I remember drinking in, was it the Crescent in Salford? Yeah. And I remember the building we were in, and I remember
Adelphi House.
Adelphi House, yeah. I remember they were trying to make us shoot with Sony, was it Z1s?
Yeah, we had mini DV.
Yeah, but they were the first HD, like kind of cameras that Sony had put out, weren't they, I think?
Yeah.
And I remember even at the time, I was like, I hate the way this looks. And I wanted to use the Panasonic DVX100 instead, which they had, which I much preferred. But yeah, I remember that stuff. I remember...
Because this is pre-DSLR.
Yeah, pre-DSLR,
so,
yeah.
Like,
that's where my kind of career took off, was DSLR, really.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did you think then that you'd be still directing now? Because just to interrupt you, didn't do a BA in filmmaking. You're like Christopher Nolan, you did the classics, didn't you?
I did classics, yeah, I did. I did classics first, and then I travelled around the world for a couple of years, and then came back and did this. But I always wanted to do this. I knew that from earlier age. I was an actor when I was a teenager. I was at a theatre and like a youth theatre and acting. I was directed by Alan Ayckbourn and stuff when I was a teenager as an actor in some Alan Ayckbourn plays and different things like that. And but by the time I was in my early 20s, I knew I wanted to be a director rather than an actor. So I don't know, I just kind of...
So were you kind of like protecting yourself by doing a serious degree for although classics?
It was my dad, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think I got I don't like. My wife always takes the piss out of me because I say this, but basically I got a RADA offer when I was when I was a teenager.
Holy shit.
And my dad was like, "You don't want to do that." He's like, "Go and do something.
You want to be the person to pull that?
Go and do something proper, you know." So I ended up doing classics, and then came back to it after that. You know what I mean? So it's like one of my biggest regrets, I think, not pursuing that thing, because it didn't matter. I should have done it anyway. You know, whatever. Who cares? But so I came back to filmmaking then. But yeah, that I always knew that.
And when you started the MA in fiction filmmaking, was that your first foray into filmmaking?
No, you know.
Were you making stuff before that?
So a couple of things. Weirdly, when I was a teenager, like early teenager, we had a VHS, a video camcorder, and there was two guys I used to hang out with, one called Paul Morris, Mozza, and one called Stephen Bridgewood. And we used to shoot in Stephen Bridgewood's back garden. We would remake Peter Jackson movies.
Really?
Shot by shot.
What, like Brain Dead?
Yeah, or like...
Bad Taste?
Bad Taste, yeah. So we would do stuff like, we would literally watch the scene and then we would reshoot it with us in the garden, and we'd get like some old trainers so we could chisel into trainers and literally, and then edit in camera. And this was all when I was like 13, 14.
Wow.
So we were doing that, and I was always wanting to do it. I remember a couple of times where I'd be to Paul or Steve, I'd be like, "Oh, can we make another film today? Can we do this?" And they'd be like, "No, I can't be arsed." So I think I knew then that was what was driving me.
Yeah.
But that's silly, isn't it? That stuff.
Sorry to interrupt you. So when we were doing the MA, you were like, because you were the year above us, you were someone that, well, I looked up to, that I think a lot of the filmmakers looked up to, because you'd done the film, the kind of the best film from the year before, hadn't you? This Portraits of Jade.
Oh right, okay. Yeah.
And back then you were your filmmaking was very serious. Like what's I don't know, we'll get to that. But what's the biggest difference between how you saw filmmaking then and how you see it now? Because obviously now you've got that, we were discussing this before, that 10,000 hours, you've got well over that in terms of experience. So what's the biggest difference in terms of how you viewed filmmaking then?
Do you mean the way I make it? Like
Yeah,
the way I work at it?
Yeah, fuck what anyone else thinks.
Okay.
I mean, this is your personal approach to filmmaking.
Do you know what it is? I think I'm much more invested in really interrogating scripts.
Right. Than I
was. Yeah. I think when I started, it was more like, I don't know whether it was just being super eager and like excited, where it would be like, I just want to just do it. Let's get going. Let's do it. And I think it was like less time spent kind of interrogating the kind of material first. And I think you kind of come to a realization, and maybe 15 years ago or something, where it was like, actually, this whole thing is on the bed of this. This is the foundations of everything, and nothing good gets made with a bad script. I don't think.
You were obsessed with the visuals, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, absolutely.
And I'm not saying that's not the case anymore. But
no.
You can pretty much, anyone can make something look semi-competent.
Yeah. Well,
it's the story now, isn't it?
You're 1,000% right there. And I was obsessed with visuals, and I think it's like, see, the film I made straight after when I came out of uni was like, it was a short film called Red Traffic.
Yeah.
And
well, you missed one there.
Did I?
Yeah, Maraschino.
Oh yeah, I made Maraschino.
Because you made this film called Maraschino that I love.
Oh yeah, I love. Yeah, Maraschino's a great movie. I actually quite like that one. But things like Red Traffic or something was like, it was because I was obsessed with Michael Mann.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to make something that looked like Michael Mann in the city, in my city. So I did that. But like now I look back and go, God, that's shit. Like
it's interesting that you say that, because that was a question I was going to come to later, because I have got some research here with some questions.
Oh my God.
And one thing I noticed was a lot of them early shorts now. Sorry, we've got someone walking past the pub here. One of the things I noticed on your website, you've removed a lot of your early shorts. Is there a reason behind that?
Yeah, I mean, they're still around. They're still on there, like on my Vimeo and stuff and things like that to see, but they're just not promoted in like forefront on the website kind of stuff, I guess.
And is that because of how you're embarrassed by them?
No, I'm not embarrassed, I guess. It's just that it's not a representation of what I'm about now.
Got you.
I guess that's what it is, really. I think because I was really like I think you're exactly right, though. I think I realised that I was obsessed with the visuals and all that kind of stuff then. And now I'm more, I don't think I'm as, I'm still very kind of camera orientated, but I don't think that's not the key for me anymore.
Yeah.
Anymore. That's something that like I like to have a collaborator with more now as well. I think back then it was more like I'll deal with this and take over a little bit,
Yeah. So I think this is something I see with a lot of film students, that early on it's that imitation, isn't it? And you've said like your early stuff was pretty dark, really, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Was that because you were just trying to imitate it rather than finding your own voice?
Yeah, I think so, probably. I think I was obviously like with like a lot of people just obsessed with movies and watching movies like non-stop since a teenager.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of an angsty thing, wasn't it, as well? And I don't know, it's like my taste has changed. Like I can see it changing over time, and my taste is quite different to yours, I think. I
don't think we're either. I'll get to that because what actually, like, seeing as this is more like a chat, we might I'll dip in and out of the questions. But one thing for me was a big part of my learning journey was for a long time I was really envious of you, like because you were winning loads of short film awards.
Sure.
Like for a bit of context, Will's made loads of shorts. He's won festivals and things like that. But then it got to a point where it was like, well, actually, I'm really pleased for Will, but if I was given that success, are these the films that I would be interested in making? No. And I think everyone's got to go on that journey of thinking, what is it that I want to say?
Yeah. No, that's an absolute fair point. And it's like I think in some of those films that like have done well and won awards as well, as like I look back and be like, well, that's not me anymore as well. I guess. But I guess it's just part of a whole like maturing and developing as a filmmaker and all that. But I think I got hooked on. I started in like kind of really kind of dark drama-y kind of stuff, and then went into kind of comedy and kind of accidentally fell into comedy. And I've always loved comedy, and like, I was like to my wife the other day, which is quite funny. I got the hankering to watch Beverly Hills Cop because I hadn't seen it for a while.
Yeah.
So I found it and fired it up and put it on. And I was watching it with like my 3-month-old son. I was like making him watch it as well. And then, and I was thinking about watching this movie, and I was like, wow, this movie's pretty hardcore in a sense, because I remember watching this movie when I was like 7 years old, like every day after school. When I was like 7.
Yeah, I've got similar memories. Like I think we were just allowed to watch anything, weren't
yeah,
we?
yeah. Like it was like the tape that was at my nana's house. So I'd be like, right, it's going on, and I would watch.
I remember one called Stripes.
Stripes,
you ever seen that?
Yeah,
like,
Bill Murray.
Female mud wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching it like all the time at like 4 years old.
Yeah.
So
well, Beverly Hills Cop's got the classic 80s strip club scenes.
Yeah.
It's got like people just getting shot in the head. It's got Eddie Murphy, like, you know, it's the classic chief. Inspector Todd, isn't it? Like, you know, what the fuck are you doing? You know, and I was like 7. I watched it all the time. I was obsessed with Eddie Murphy. So I guess, and my wife laughed about like, oh, this is like, explains a lot about you or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, why I'm so awesome. I don't know. It's like, but like, it's, so there was a lot of that. But yeah, so I started with quite dark stuff, but then I went into comedy. And I'd always loved comedy. And a lot of stand-up. I love stand-up. And that was also actually by accident as well, because I made a short film with 2 guys who'd written it, comedy guys, and we shot it in a day. It was set at night.
Was this the director?
No, it was the same guys, but it was Inertia.
Inertia, yeah.
So we did that.
Inertia was another award-winning film.
Yeah, well, it did really well, but that was kind of out of the blue for me, because it was like a thing where I got the guys, they'd written it, and we basically we shot it in a day, but the thing was set at night. So I kind of rehearsed it. We rehearsed it for hours in the day, and hours and hours and hours, just rehearsing. And then we shot it, and I shot it myself with a DSLR, and we just blasted it out in a few hours. And then, I didn't think anything more of it. I just stuck it online. And it was my dad, actually, who watched it and was like, oh, this is pretty good, this.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's all right. And then he was like, no, let's like, shall we put it in some festivals, because I think it's pretty good. And I was like, okay, I guess. I wasn't that convinced. And it just like mopped up, it just went nuts. And that one was the one that was just like bang, 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 bang. Like, so that was a nice feeling. And then I started kind of moving towards more comedy stuff. And I did that for a long time, right up to now, actually, really. But yeah, I don't know. They do change over time, don't they?
Do you think with festivals, because I've thought about this a lot, that like comedies do go down really well, and I think it's that fact that, say there's like 3 things that are quite morose, and then
it's a palate cleanser.
Everything feels 10 times more funnier almost, doesn't it?
It's a palate cleanser. Honestly, that I genuinely believe that if you can make something that's just a bit funny, and I think comedy's the hardest thing as well. I think it's harder to do than drama, because you could almost do like a Christopher Nolan and, you know, just write down where to hit the beats and make someone cry. Oh, well, this is what we do this point to make them cry. Because that's what they call him, the mathematician, don't they, in Hollywood? Because it's like, his scripts are like, bum, 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 bum. And it's like, that's it. It's like, oh, great, okay. So you could do that.
Do you know how much that sort of writing makes my skin crawl? Like there's these formulas. It's like it's so inauthentic. Imagine doing that with poetry or any other art form. Like, oh, if you do this, this, and this, you've got an award-winning poem. Not that awards matter, but
but you're right. Though, or something that is almost semi-guaranteed to hit the right nerve at the right point with all mass people.
I mean, if you stumble upon something like that, fine. But just like going out with the if I do this, this, and this, it's like
Well, it's like so on page 62, if I hit this, then such and such things happens. You know, it's not. I don't know. It's not for me. But so it was just. I think comedy's the hardest thing to do. So if you can do something that's kind of a bit funny, I think you do better at festivals, because I'm talking about short films here. Just because, again, exactly like you're saying, it's a palate cleanser. I think like a sorbet of a thing, you know, where it's like, okay, we just had 3 shorts about someone dying or something super morose. It's I don't know.
So them early shorts, because I'm always about like, if this can educate people, what's something you learned from those early shorts that you look at now and go, okay, I didn't really know how to do this then, but now you look at, you go, okay, I'd have done this slightly differently, or because it is that 10,000 hours, isn't it? Making, so that when you recognise things, go, okay, I wouldn't quite do that the same now. I think there's a couple of things. Like, obviously, I think the first one is like, and they try and tell you this, I think, at film school, but I don't know whether it goes in. Sound is like super important.
And you kind of I neglect
We say
that.
as we're on the literally on the street corner
in the wind
outside the pub.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, sound's super important. You can get away with a lot. I think we learned that from like those early noughties. There was a lot of like that DV camera kind of thing coming around, and it was like you can get away with anything you want visually as long as it sounded okay with an audience.
Feston, 28 days later, all that stuff.
Yeah. It didn't matter. People were in it because of...
Yeah, because that's the thing that I always talk about this. The amount of time that's not given to sound on a film. I mean, a podcast is different. It's like one and done. But like the amount of time I spend in post-production on just the sound, because like my mum wouldn't know whether a shot was slightly out. She would 100% know with her ears, like if it was muffled and you could really hear it.
Yeah, totally.
It's so important.
I mean, I remember it was a movie called Tadpole that I watched. It was from the early noughties, it might be 2000, and it was literally like shot on DV. Great actors, really good, solid actors, like comedy film, but they just got the sound right, and it was fine. You could just sit. I watched it at the Corner House when that was the thing, and it was great.
So sound's
one. I think script. I think just really be like really hard on yourself with the script and if it's any good. And you know, casting is directing a lot of the time, I would say.
It is.
There's a lot of that, you know, a lot of people, but like everyone has a different style, don't they? Like my directing style to yours would be very different, I think. And that's...
So you've actually done some teaching, you've taught directing.
Yeah.
And one of the things that kind of drives me mad about film schools is where they give students a sheet with a load of action verbs, and they say, hand them this and the performances will improve. It's like, I don't see that as directing at all.
No.
It's like, how often would you use something like I bet you've never done it, have you?
What? Done what?
An action verb, like, here's an action, to an actor, like, you are more...
It's like, fuck no.
Exactly.
No.
Like...
No, I mean, that's almost like insulting to an actor as well. Like, that's the other thing, I guess. I don't know, it's like, I worry for you in a sense of like listening to all your stuff and everything way that people might perceive that you don't like actors, right? I'm serious. I don't know, your partner's an actor and all this kind of stuff, and it's like, and from like making a film about a thing where it's like because of actors kind of got, you know, in a bad place with you. I worry that's it's like a perception.
Yeah. Which I'm fine with.
But I don't think it's true. But
it's not true
because I know you. But
because like if I think of Notion, like the actors in that, they've not given me my movie, but they have to a certain extent. Because if they hadn't have known everything about those characters inside out, I wouldn't have it right now. I wouldn't be however many weeks out from finishing it.
Yeah. Or deeply invested in getting it to a good place. You know?
It's like, I guess like I'm just very meticulous, and like if I see someone winging it or not going 100%, it's like there's too much time on the line for me to accept mediocrity.
Fair enough.
It's like if you're going to be potentially editing a feature for 3 years, and you've got subpar performances that you're going to try and basically mould or manipulate.
Yeah.
And the actors haven't done it on the day, then that's an awful place to be in. And it's like, I get it though, like, I guess like I'm in danger of looking like some mad Kubrick character, aren't I? Like, who's like, fucking do what I say. But it's not the case, because I've spoke to actors a lot. I speak to filmmakers a lot, and for me, first take, I just let the actors do what they want. Let's see what you instinctively do, because from there we can mould it.
Yeah, sure. No, it's interesting. Like, I think our approaches are different as well. Where, like, for example, like, you know, you talk about, and obviously one of the things that kind of spurred on with your Blurred Lines film and all these kind of things is like, for you, and again, this is coming from you, who you're more experienced than me making features by far, you know. It's something that you've done that I haven't, you know, so fair enough. Like, you want the person to be completely ready to go to shoot, so that you know that you can get what you need to get, etc., etc., etc. My position, I kind of feel to be, I'm not bothered in a way where if an actor,
if they're prepared,
got a Lamborghini right, we're going next to us. No, not prepared. That's the wrong. But if they don't know the script, I don't mean know the script. If they've read the script 20 times, it doesn't mean that they're off book for the scene we're doing. I don't care about that. That's not a thing for me. And
it wasn't for me with shorts.
Yeah, well, maybe that's the thing.
I think once you're into that long form material, if you have half-hour, like, because we all know, like, we've done enough shorts that we could easily pull one together tomorrow, and literally Blurred Lines was shot with the actors.
Yeah.
Like one of them in particular, he'd learned it more or less the night before.
Right, okay,
it was proper last minute, and under them circumstances, it's like, right, this is the situation we're in now. Let's go. Like, and we'll, if you miss, if
create
you
problem solving, like all that.
Create problem solving.
Yeah.
So like these are the limitations I'm up against now. But when the length of notion, if I was dealing with actors who were doing all that, oh, well, I don't need to say that. Like, before you know it, you've lost half your film.
Sure, okay.
Because I write in such a way, not to make this about myself, but sometimes...
It's your podcast.
No, but a line of dialogue will come back later and be paid off. So if they're... Oh, I'll
callback, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So if it's just, oh, I don't say that, it's like, well, actually, you do need to say that because it's a setup for later.
Sure.
So it's not that I'm like with most of my shorts, like I was like not anti-dialogue, but I did a lot with my shorts. I was very
they're very like tone poem,
exactly,
emotive and kind of like just about the feelings of stuff. And you get that from them, you know. That's you know, and someone like Terry's got a great face for that. So you know, it's those kind of things work. But yeah, so this, I'm positive it's a question just because like I haven't done it, so I don't know. But like for me, like even on something like working in telly, like working in scripted, like in soaps, even in scripted drama, a lot of the times you get there and the actors don't know the scene, or they don't know it, and they either find it or they or it's like they learn it as they go. Got motorbikes now as well.
I've got motorbikes. Oh, he stalled it. I tell you what's interesting about that as well is, and this is where like some people in their reviews said the film Blurred Lines was mean-spirited. There's a difference between shooting something with endless resources versus making an indie feature where you've got a finite amount of time, and if half your time's spent trying to find a scene, you're in trouble.
Yeah, well that's the question, or the kind of point I was kind of going around, because it's I know that you don't not like actors.
Is he taking the piss? It's like he stopped us to do that. Go on.
Yeah, it's just it's interesting because and I guess it's like you're smart enough or have the view, like the you know, the step back view to know, and also again of doing 10,000 hour stuff again, like you were saying, of doing 3 features to where you can be like, actually, we need to be on point here because otherwise I'm not going to get the day. Whereas, like, you know, so for example, it's quite interesting. Like, my favourite director is Billy Friedkin, but weirdly within that, not made any of my favourite films. But he's my favourite director, you know. But he talks about someone like Al Pacino with like disdain, like real disdain. And you love Al Pacino as a performer, and like, you know, talking about him in The Godfather, that kind of stuff. He does Cruising with Friedkin, and he would turn up and never know the scripts.
I know.
His whole thing is like, oh, we're going to do 60 takes to get to where I need to get, and Friedkin's cast other actors who are like to do 6. Yeah. And Friedkin hates that. It's like he's like, that's something that it's interesting. But again, I get that, you know, you understand that it's like they have a place where they're like, okay, we've got this 2-page scene and we've got a day to get it. I guess that's the difference, isn't it? You know,
I don't think Pacino was ever as good as he was in The Godfather either, 1 and 2. Where he was super prepared. It seems like as the years have gone on, he's got worse. Maybe there's...
I don't know. I think he was still pretty rocking in, like, you know, Serpico and like Dog Day Afternoon.
Yeah, they're
like,
mid-70s.
Yeah, so when his 70s is the...
We're tailing off by the time.
It's my favourite.
So by Cruising,
that's 79.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're still
at the tail end.
It comes out in 80, but it's shot in 79.
Scarface, he's just shouting, and then we've never stopped.
Well, he becomes shouting. Yeah. I don't know where that happens, where he becomes that Al Pacino. I'm not sure. But I love watching. I watched Sea of Love for the first time like not long ago.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
No, I mean, he's always good, but I know exactly what you mean, because to me, I've seen that interview where he talks about Tommy Lee Jones, and Tommy Lee Jones is like, he needs to hit that mark. That's the mark.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the reason is, find the reason.
But he talks about that. That's about is it called Prey? I can't remember the movie, but it's like him and it's Benicio del Toro,
Benicio del Toro,
and Tommy Lee Jones, and it's the difference between them two that he talks about, isn't it? Where it's like Benicio del Toro is like, Freakin's like, come through this door and go to here, and he's like, well, yeah, but who's my father? And Freakin's like, I don't fucking care, like, just do the lines, you know. Even though it's interesting, but like, and Tommy Lee Jones would be like, oh, I come here, I sit here, there's the camera over there, so I'll look over there, and blah blah blah. It's a different type of acting.
It is the thing for me with like maybe why I could be perceived as being like this dogmatic person, because to me, like, I'm trying to think how to say this without sounding like because I do totally respect actors like Caitlin and Seth and Robbie and all those people who just worked on Notion, done an incredible job. But cinema works in other ways than just performance. Cinema is about where I put the camera in relation to.
Yeah, it's one piece of the puzzle.
It's one piece of the puzzle, and I think sometimes actors think I am the puzzle. I'm here, I'm the puzzle.
Yeah.
And it's like when you look at someone like Ozu or Bresson or all these great filmmakers, to me it's like, no, you're a part of it, and I'm super grateful to have that part.
Yeah.
But there's other pieces.
And it's
of
integral
this
that we get the right part as
exactly.
well. Like,
It's like you can't. It's like it is. It's the whole is more than the sum of the parts, and I think sometimes actors are like, well, maybe I do this instead. It's like, well
yeah,
that's
and
a
it's
different
like,
story then.
I guess it comes down to like, you know, it's they're generally, you know, some of them are insecure, and it's like, and it's important for them to be important and all that kind of stuff, and that's, but also that's what makes them great in a weird way, and it's like,
if you have 200 million to make your movie,
like,
let's sit there and do 60 takes. When you've got 10 grand and you've got 15 days, everyone needs to be on point and ready to deliver, like, because we're not going to do more, like, we just can't.
No, it's fair, and that's an interesting point, because, like, I just wanted to talk to you about it in a way, because
just gone off the deep end.
Like. No, I wanted to talk to you about it because I worry, because like knowing you, I know that like you've got like massive respect for actors and their craft and all that, and it's like I worry that it's like people will think that you're that you just like, you know, like you can have like, I remember a story from working in telly, and it was like I remember someone, it was I don't. Anyway, it was someone said.
I don't want to name them.
It was someone who was in said over the radio it was like basically just a call to get the actors into the set, and they just said over the radio, they said, "I'll get the puppets out of the box," right?
Yeah.
And it's a thing where it's and then that person got fired, which is fine and should be, but like it's a thing, isn't it, where it's not. I don't think you think that they're puppets.
100%.
But do you know what I mean? But it's like a thing where I don't want the perception of that to be perpetrated.
Well, I don't need to keep reiterating it, but like if you know your shit and you show up and do it, like you've got more or less free reign on your character within reason. I'm there to guide tone and the overarching narrative.
You know the story.
Exactly.
Then they might not, you know, in the same way. You know, it's interesting. Like.
I guess like that kind of brings me to a question, like from the early film days, were you kind of naive about the industry or optimistic about going, because we've been doing this like 20 years now, and it's like I think everyone thinks they've made their Boca cinema, Boca cinema. I've lit the shit out of my films. I'm ready. I've arrived.
Pretty shorts.
Was that the case for you? Were you optimistic about getting then a career in filmmaking?
So I don't know. I never. So, but maybe another difference with me and you as well is like I never was. I love movies like more than anything, but I always wanted to work in telly.
Right.
And that was my thing, and I wanted to do that. And I think it was maybe an early realization for me. Well, I ended up working commercials, right? So and I still do, direct commercials. And it's like a thing where if you love the process...
Can I just say, you're fucking my order up here. You
Sorry.
No, it's too much like a conversation.
Sorry.
Commercials.
Shall I go back?
No, I was getting onto commercials, but seeing as you've gone there, let's go.
Yeah, no, but basically all I was going to say was like, I think having like early on, I had a kind of realization of the parts of the filmmaking process that I enjoyed the most.
Right.
And realizing that the bit that I liked the most was being on set, because I like collaborating with crew and I like collaborating with actors.
Yeah.
And I love being on set and I love creative problem solving. So TV seems to be the one that offers that as a more consistent part of the job, whereas like commercials is less set, and movies, I guess, is less set. So it's like a thing where that was the one where I was like, actually, this part of the process is the bit I like the most. Try and find the thing where you can do the bit you like the most. That was all of that.
Yeah.
So that was where I was going, and I had that for a long time, you know.
Because this is interesting. No, you're totally all right. It's interesting because you have done so much. So my questions like laid out short films, shooting on film, early TV experience, Creative England. I'm just going to list through all the things Will's done. Soaps. Directing soaps, directing commercials, sketches. Like this is how
we're around to YouTube now.
No, this,
so we've come
exactly,
all full,
but this is like how far your career goes, isn't it? So I was just going to briefly touch on just thinking out short films again because you shot on film way before this became like the new trend. Like now it's like this uber trendy thing. Like I'm going to shoot on film and all this.
2010 maybe.
I've got shooting on film 2010.
2010,
so let's go with that.
Yeah. Did 16 million.
Yeah, you shot on celluloid. Having made a few sort of short films before that, how did the process change between digital and then film?
I guess it was more of a discipline on set in the sense of like, you know, you knew you were going to get 2 takes.
You wanted the actors to know their lines.
No, but it was like you knew you were going to get 2 takes. Yeah. So like,
but that is an example, isn't it?
Yeah,
right?
I guess so. Yeah.
Say if you were like, we're doing our 60 takes, you'd be fucked off if you were doing 16 mil.
Yeah, well, we'd just run out of film.
Yeah, you're burning through the film.
Yeah. So that was one thing, and
the discipline
of it, and that's one of the things that's lamented by people like Herzog and people like that, isn't it? Because it's where they think about how it used to be when and Lynch maybe it was like how it used to be when it was film and did change to the digital.
Do you approach digital in a similar manner? Having worked with the discipline
I
of film,
don't.
or are you happy to
I only did it once, and like it was more because I had the option and opportunity.
It looks slick though.
Yeah, and it was fun to do, but like, do I approach it in a similar way? No, yes and no. I don't do like as many rehearsals as I would have done when it was film prior to shooting.
Okay.
But I don't shoot the rehearsal. I don't like that. Yeah, it's an interesting one that. I think I don't know, man. It's a hard question. I think
do you like to do a lot of rehearsals on set?
I'll try to, or before.
Before.
But like, I think it's different. So it's obviously like if you're doing a short film, I'll do rehearsals before.
Yeah.
And then when we go on the day,
because comedy, big
especially with comedy, and all that stuff. Yeah. So I'll do a lot before, and when we get to the day, then we're pretty much there.
Right.
We will like be only a few takes away from getting to where we need to be. But with TV's a really fascinating one where soaps, especially if you go in, the actors have got the sides and the hands or whatever, and you're setting the blocking, you're setting the camera positions, you're setting all that stuff. You essentially you do it all there. Basically, what happens is there's a kind of structure in the thing where you go in, you talk to the actors, and basically the rest of the crew leave.
Yeah.
And they go and get a brew or whatever, and you sit there with the actors and go, okay, so I think you should be here, do this. It'd be important if you get to get here, because I want to get to a close-up for this moment, for this because it's important for your character, blah, 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 all these kind of considerations. And then in your mind, then the actor will say, they might be like, okay, yeah, but how am I going to get from here to here? I don't understand how I could do that.
Yeah.
You talk all that stuff through, and you maybe do that for 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the crew comes back in, you do a crew show, and then you explain to the camera people how it's all going to be played out and blocked. So that I like doing a lot. So that's different in a way, isn't it? So there's I like doing that rehearsal section though.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like you get amazing actors sometimes where it's just like they just know, or they can make it work for them, whatever. And then other times you have ones who will be much more questioning of what your idea is, and that's fine too. But yeah, so that's I like those kind of things. But yeah, different. I think it is different than with film. I've not worked on film since, and I don't perceive doing it ever again.
Yeah.
Particularly.
Do you think that was maybe when you were a bit caught up in visuals?
Yeah, massively.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I want to shoot on film.
Yeah, I was still in that part.
That's what the bad boys do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And now I'd be like, if someone says, "Oh, we're doing this on a phone," I'd be like, "That's fine." Yeah, all right. If we got the right actors and is the script good, then I don't care.
I never thought I'd see the day where Will Herbert said,
yeah.
get the phone out.
Get an anamorphic adapter.
Get a phone out.
yeah.
From Michael Mann to Sean Baker.
Yeah, basically.
In 20 years.
I mean, I do love Anora. But that was anamorphic.
Yeah, that's right.
35
He was
million.
he's on film now.
Yeah,
he's betrayed. He's betrayed the indie dream. He's sold us out.
Yeah.
What's interesting, around about that time where you were doing all these shorts, you were also working on Shameless, weren't you? In the crew.
Yeah. That's where I started, really.
Yeah, what was that experience like?
Amazing.
And because obviously, what did you get out of watching the directors on those shows, if anything?
Yeah, I knew that's what I wanted to do then. And I worked there for a couple of years. I was on Shameless for a few years as a camera trainee, assistant, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was just a learning experience of watching what was happening, how it was. But yeah, really, it was like, more than anything, it was set etiquette.
Talk to me about that, because when I hear about student shoots, like, 'cause obviously my background in teaching, sorry to interrupt, when I hear about students on set and everyone's chirping up with an idea and shouting out, oh, do this, or maybe do it, it's like, it blows my mind, and it's like, I don't think that's taught enough at film school, set etiquette. So can you talk to me about that?
Yeah, sure. It's, I mean, I think it's not even taught when you go there. That's one of those things where it's like, it's a terrifying experience when you go there with no knowledge or little knowledge, because it's an alien environment, and no one teaches you the rules. You'll only chastise you if you do something wrong. So you have to kind of figure it out for yourself. Yeah, I loved it, and it's really important, and you can tell, I think, I don't know whether this is 100% true, but people talk about it coming from a military kind of background almost, like the structure of it and the way it comes from. Mm-hmm. And you can see, like, there's like, you don't say stuff to certain...
We've got monk piss heads.
Yeah, top, yeah. You don't say stuff to certain people, or you're not in, it's like, you couldn't, if you were there as a camera trainee, you wouldn't be like, if something's happening, you wouldn't just kind of go up and go to the director, oh, well, I think this, you should do it like this, or I think if this is the camera guy. Like, there's a hierarchy, essentially. Yeah. And it's like, there's people who speak, and then there's people who are waiting to be instructed on what they should be doing. Yeah. And yeah, it works really well when it's good and it's efficient. And but yeah, like I say, it's not really taught on a set, but you could. The thing is about it, saying it out loud also seems. I don't know, it like feels, I mean, I love it. Like, I genuinely love the set, but it feels a bit like you're being, I don't know what the right word is, but like, you're going to say, right, you don't speak, you stand there, you wait there, and this person
will come a bit dickish, can't
it? Yeah, it feels like, but it's not. It's like, it's just literally, this is how we're going to get this done. And it's just done for that. And it's like, okay, so this person speaks, and then this person speaks, and then this person speaks, and then we filter it all through. Yeah. And then it's, everyone knows what we're doing, and then we can push forward, So there's like, and there's people, I can understand where you say, like, so for example, at the moment, I've come full circle, and so I'm working with these guys at the moment doing this comedy stuff, and they've come and done, everything's been all there online, they're on videos, all this kind of stuff, and it's great, and they're really, really talented, and they're really funny, but they're used to just kind of throwing everything between each other. And it's great, and like, that's how they create better stuff. But if you're trying to create a real set with them, it's really difficult. You've got to kind of be in a headspace where you're like, you're gonna have to just wait or like accept that they're going to be throwing everything into the mix. But sometimes I think they can see on my face, or they can tell when I'm like, we need to be moving on now, like, or this is like, let's go and make this work. So it's really interesting, but it's something that's not taught, I suspect, and it's something that isn't taught on sets anyway. It's secret rules. But I don't know.
But when you were watching those directors on Shameless, what were you picking up from them for when? Because obviously, if you had this goal of getting into TV,
that was your question.
What were you looking at that you were seeing in them?
So obviously, what was interesting was like, you can see that they were all different. So like, you have some that were like obsessed with like performance. Some that were much more technical, and some that were. I think you could tell that from their background as well, because you'd have certain ones who'd come in, the director was an actor, or had been an actor. You'd have someone who used to be a cameraman or something, so you could see where their focus was coming from. So that was interesting, and I think that if you have someone, say, for example, who's an actor's director, you notice that the DOP becomes more prominent. So then they're kind of helping guide that kind of part of it. And then if you have someone who is like someone with a technical background, and they might be much more obsessed with the visuals. The actors tend to kind of look after themselves more. So that was interesting to see.
And were you then identifying areas where it's like, okay, if I'm going to long-term be this,
Yeah.
I need to be not a jack of all trades, but,
no, but
I need
both,
to be mindful. You are mindful of both, aren't
Well,
you?
that's it. That was one of the things from doing that, I think, that it's like, being on a real set doing that is like, you can be like, okay, who needs attention?
Yeah.
That's really what it is, and figuring it out. And when you start to know people on sets, you can be like, if you're confident with this person, this crew member, then you're like, right, okay, I don't need to even do anything with them because I know they know what I want and they're going to put it there, so I can focus my attention on this part. But yeah, that tends to be a lot in the kind of soap stuff. Because also as well, you don't get to pick your crew in soap stuff, and you're just working with the actors who are there. So you've got to be quickly identify the elements of it that you need to kind of put your attention into.
And you might be just dipping in for that week, right?
Yeah.
Say if you're a director.
Yeah, or even just
or
a day,
block.
like a pickup day or something, or anything like that. Or you're doing a block for a couple of weeks or something. But yeah, that was that, and then I shadowed some of the people and did training on other stuff and learned and looked at other directors, and you can see the ones that are beloved and the ones that seem to work really well and do good stuff. And like, there's a couple of directors that I've kind of shadowed or kind of been on set with, who one's called Peter Hoare and one's called Mike Lacey. And both of them just amazing directors, but like, they're just so amazingly like humble and open and giving, and like, they're amazing with actors, but they're also like technically minded, but also go to, if someone goes, oh well, if we got the shot from here, we could get there, blah, blah, and they go, oh, yeah, great idea, blah blah blah. There's no ego in the sense of being that they're being undermined or anything like that, and I think that's so rare.
Yeah.
It's so rare, and that's why those people like that are looked at and they go, oh, these guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Because they're used to people having
So I was going to say,
big egos.
Was there anything that surprised you watching those filmmakers? Would that be the thing, that the people who were open to collaboration and those who weren't?
Yeah, I think you can see like, and people have a better time. People pull in the right direction. People enjoy it and all that kind of stuff. Where, if they feel like they're valued, I guess. I don't know. It's just a simple thing, but I think it's just quite rare in the industry because it can enable a personality that's totalitarian in nature.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can enable them, and that's a problem, isn't it? If like, I mean, this is the weird thing. If someone is like an absolute monster, and people are like, oh my god, this is a nightmare working for them, and this is a horrible setup, and then the product's amazing. Those people are like, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
So, I guess...
Because I know you're a big fan of Eyes Wide Shut, aren't you?
It's amazing, yeah.
And, like, Cruise stormed off, and he's, like, the uber professional, apparently. Nicole Kidman was in tears.
Yeah, I don't know. It's... I guess, though, I mean, but by the time you get into, like, the mid-90s, it's like, I think you know who you're dealing with, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? It's like...
More fool you if you're short for a cubic film.
Yeah, if you're upset about what he's going to do. It's an amazing piece of work.
I'm a big fan of the film. And this is the thing with film, that time is the great decider, as far as I'm concerned with them. Like, when you see things at the time, and, like, there are so many cases, aren't there, where it's like, ridiculed upon release, and then years later people go, actually, there was something in this.
Yeah.
And I think that's a...
Well, I'm on a massive trip at the moment of just watching, like, essentially, I guess what you call B-movies from, like, the mid-80s into the mid-90s.
Yeah.
When you think about the whole thing, there was an industry happening where it was just fully formed industry that was just churning out stuff.
Yeah.
And, it'd be people who'd been like, oh, I've just finished doing this, Ridley Scott movie, for example, but I've got like 2 weeks free and they're making this crappy B movie down the street. I'll just go make that. And so you have these incredible technicians working on like what you'd be perceived as kind of genre flicks or B movies. So you can find stuff in there now that's better than anything that's getting made now, but it was just stuff that was just getting pumped out in like 92. Do you know what I mean? And you're just like, oh man, this was someone's like 2 weeks off. We're pumping this stuff out,
So you were a bit like that really then, weren't you? Because you were working on Shameless and you were still making shorts.
Yeah.
How was it flitting between the two, and were you trying to bring anything that you were seeing on those sets to shorts, or were you still very much aware that, an indie film's an indie film, we have
Yeah, no, I
You
was...
have different parameters.
Yeah, I think it was, it was because all my own stuff, similar to yours, was like kind of like, at that time, was like no money, no budget, no anything. We were just kind of getting friends together doing stuff. And so it was only learning in the sense of like, maybe like technical, you know, things that I could learn to use, you know, or like, you know, that was it. There wasn't really anything like that. It was kind of two different worlds, really, to be honest. But yeah, it was. I was making some bits. I mean, I wasn't making anything good. I didn't make anything good around that time. I don't think. I'm not
I don't
sure.
know what year. What year?
No idea. I was like 08 to 10, maybe 08.
Okay, so that's all that.
Yeah.
So it went alongside Inertia.
It might have been, and maybe Inertia was before. I don't know.
I was going to say, I
maybe
thought that was
07.
alongside the director.
Yeah. Director was like 2012, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
similar,
just after.
Similar periods.
That was good. Yeah.
Because that won a lot of awards as well.
It did, yeah. I like that one. That was really interesting. That was like I used that one as an experiment because I shot that as well myself, and we shot it all in one day. 12 pages. 12 pages one day, one location.
It's like a spoof on like the kind of director that some people might perceive me as.
Well, it's based
an absolute maniac.
Yeah. Well, it's based on a real guy. It's based on a real theatre director.
He just kind of
he's just
bullies these two actors, doesn't he?
Yeah. So I think a lot of it all came from a real theatre director that the guys who wrote it had worked with.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that person knows, but it was.
No.
Yeah. But that was interesting. I like that film. It's fun.
Yeah. So you are one of the chosen few who've had a funded short film.
Oh yeah.
A funded short film. Who was it funded by, and did it feel like a breakthrough at the time?
Yeah. Okay, so it was BFI and Creative England. It was iShorts 3 at the time, I think. And I applied for iShorts 2 the year before and got right down to the end. And it was a really nice little film, actually, a nice little script. And that went right down to the end, and we didn't get that over the line. It wasn't one of the selected. I don't know how many picked, like 10 maybe. So then the next year I reapplied with the GPT, which I'd written, and that one got selected. But yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, the budget was £5,000. That was what that was.
See, it's interesting you say that, because like, I guess there'll be a question in here somewhere, but like when I see student filmmakers and they're taking out thousands and thousands of pounds of equipment, and you just described a short film, BFI funded, £5,000, and I know for a fact some of the equipment that students are taking out, we're talking way over that.
Yeah.
It's like, so how do you prioritise what you need and how to spend that £5,000? Because it's not a lot. I've seen students spending way over that now on short films.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, the other thing is, and with a lot of my stuff is like relationships. So I got to a point where I've got a lot of friends and a lot of people who are friends with me and who I've worked with in the past, or I've done things with in the past, or favours for in the past, or just had nice times in the past where they've said, "Oh, we'll help you."
Yeah.
So that's good. So I could always call on people like that. So like people like my DOP or whatever, or things, he'd come and do it for nothing because he wants to do it. It's interesting, and then through him, because he works in the area, in this sector as well, he'd say, "Oh well, I know a guy who we can rent this from, or we can do a deal with on this from." So there's like a lot of trickle down.
Yeah, there's
stuff
ways of
in
saving.
that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But basically, the money was spent on location, which you'll know about.
You had a pub in Manchester. Was that paid for? Or?
No, that wasn't paid for, but that was a friend again, like Rupert let us have Gullivers.
So the house was what you paid for?
The house we paid for.
Okay.
Because it's such a specific type of location, we paid for that. It wasn't a massive amount, but it was like enough. It was a big chunk of the budget.
Yeah.
20% kind of numbers. And then we paid for all we got a deal with the film gear, like the equipment to use, because we shot Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it meant that we could have a one-day rental, but actually have it for 3 days, and if we delivered it back for the Monday morning.
That's cool.
So we managed to get like 3 days worth of kit for a day's price, essentially.
Right.
So there's that, and then we had to pay for the fish and chip restaurant, which was literally in it for like, that was expensive as well, but it was that's kind of what it was about.
Yeah,
so
but
it was
non-negotiable.
Yeah,
it was
exactly,
one of the things you had to take the hit on.
Exactly, yeah. So that was it. That was more expensive than you'd want. And then obviously feeding everybody and stuff like that, and per diems, like kind of petrol money and stuff like that. And But yeah, like the actors were all really happy to do it for nothing. They were all buzzing because they really liked the script. And
it's interesting though, isn't it? Because like, it probably feels like a breakthrough. Did anything? I know you won some awards with it off the back.
Mark Commode.
Yeah, you won an award. Did he judge it?
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah,
Mark
it was like
judged it.
Yeah, best.
Well, he called Eyes Wide Shut, Eyes Wide Shut.
I know he did. Yeah. So what does he know?
You picked the wrong film.
It's the duality of this. Yeah.
No, but like, did anything really change? Because I think filmmakers, when they're starting out, they think if I get funding, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
And I don't think really.
So
there's some harsh truths in there, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I genuinely I probably naively believed that this was okay. Great, I've got this thing that's properly made and properly funded. I'm going to go off and get work off the back of this, or get everything I need off the back of this. It's not the case.
No.
At all. I mean, you've got a nice piece of work that you can show to people, which is good. But yeah, like it got me. You can send it. Basically, the thing is, if you can make something that's any good, that it doesn't matter what it costs or what it's shot on or anything like that. If people are willing to look at it, that's enough. You know, like it's. Yeah, I sent it to a lot of people, obviously, and sent it a lot of stuff, and people were just like, "Yeah, this is great. This is a great calling card." Blah blah blah. You know, and I guess it got me some meetings and opened some doors. But I don't think I was probably naive in the thought of like thinking, "Oh, what this will mean?" Or blah blah blah. I can get this and do that. I applied to go into the next round of stuff with. Craving or BFI, I can't remember what it was. It was like the next short was like a £15,000 short, and it was like
really?
you can apply for that, and it's like you're on like a trajectory for like if you've got that one, you can apply for this one. And I didn't get it. I applied for it with a script and didn't get it. But I look back now and I think I was stupid on what the script I put in for that was. So I should have thought of something different. But anyway. That's my own fault. But it's, so I thought it was going to do more in some ways than it did. But then I guess some of that as well wasn't necessarily in my control. It got me into certain rooms and meetings, and then it didn't take me any further.
Yeah, because you said when you went to work on Hollyoaks, someone had seen that short, hadn't they?
Yeah. The first guy who got me in.
So it opens maybe some doors, but probably like I do think that people think once I get that funding.
Yeah.
I'm on
Well,
my way.
it got me the meeting. That film and another film I'd done got me the meetings in Hollyoaks, and I went over there and got I was shadowing, and I was in there and meeting the right people and all that stuff. And then it took 5 years to get a block, to get like a job there. So it took another 5 years from that.
I mean, do you know what's really interesting though? Like you're someone maybe like myself who, regardless of the funding or the money you've carried on making, because like you were a Vimeo staff pick back when that meant something.
Yeah.
So like you were getting thousands of eyes on short films that you'd made.
Yeah, that was mad. That I remember I was on set the day that happened, and and suddenly like I got like 600 notifications or something, like on my phone.
Super viral.
Yeah, it was mild that, but it's weird, isn't it? I don't know.
No, but what I'm saying is like, I guess like, say you get to the door, like you get in at the door at Hollyoaks, but you still had a body of work behind you to prove that Chippy T wasn't a one-off. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure,
it wasn't just like you'd made Chippy T and like, I'm ready to direct. You directed a lot.
Yeah, I think as well though, like directing as far as like professionally, as in for a career or money-wise, I'd been doing commercials for 7 years or something at that point.
Yeah.
And I think that there's sometimes people struggle with when they look at me and go, oh, well, this guy's made a load of commercials. That means that he probably can't do. He wouldn't be able to cope, even wouldn't be able to cope with like 12 pages a day, like in a schedule, you know.
Well, go on then. So, like, my question here was, how do you approach the directing when the goal is selling something rather than narrative? I know there's like narratives in some of these little you understand the broad strokes of what I'm saying, though.
Yeah. So I think, directing commercials is interesting as well, because obviously you're telling a story in a very short amount of time, so you've got to be very clear about getting your information across. But
for the listeners, do you want to just reel off some of you've done Liverpool football team, haven't you? You've done Pennine Trains. That's one, isn't it?
No, it's a Reaver, isn't it? I can't remember.
Have I got the wrong train?
I don't know. It might be. It's a Reaver Trains, I think. There's like, it's Aldi, obviously. There's like, I don't know.
Why are you underselling Aldi?
Well, no, Aldi are good.
So you've done loads.
I've done loads. Yeah, I've done loads of commercials. And like, I've done a lot of football content in the last few
you've
years.
done Man United.
Yeah, United, Everton, Wolves. It goes on, but yeah. Anyway, they're good, and I like the Iron Brew ones. They were good. I did them. They were nice.
Was that Stuart Pearce or is that Betfred?
No, that's Betfred. Yeah. But
look at Will just name dropping companies.
Yeah. No, but it's it makes you better at like storytelling in a tight time. But yeah, as far as going on as like selling stuff, I think what happens is in commercials is there's a lot more emphasis on like art direction and that kind of stuff, and just making sure production design, art direction, all these kind of things that make everything look right or fit within the feel of the product or the company or whatever. So there's a lot of that, but also there's a lot of discussions, and that you know, I love doing commercials, I love doing that kind of stuff, but there's a lot more kind of pre-production and a lot more post-production, because obviously your shoots tend to be maybe 1 day, 2 day, 3 day kind of thing. So and then it's very much about like it gets very honed down
with that stuff in post.
Yeah. It gets honed down very much before you start shooting. Even there's you have storyboards or you have like really specific stuff you have to do. So yeah, it's very different. Or it's different than the way I like to work if it was my own thing. But it's
interesting because you've preempted something I was going to ask you. Do you feel like a different director when you're working on those types of things versus when you're doing short films, narrative short films?
Yeah.
And what's the difference?
Even to that within continuing drama as well. Like it's different because you're managing a different type of person. I think when you're doing commercials. It's about trying to make something perfect in commercials, I think, and like you have time and you have like a lot of people and you have a lot of gear and all that kind of stuff, and you can spend your time crafting and making something like as absolutely the best it possibly could be, and you have to then deal with a lot of people around you who are pushing and pulling in different directions. So you have people who want you to move quicker because you've got to get so much in a day. You've got like
or a footballer's giving you 10 minutes.
Well, that's like my thing. I do work with a lot of footballers, and I tend to get good performances out of footballers, and that's why I tend to get called back a lot with the football stuff.
Good performances out of footballers. What is that? Is that you're not taking up too much of their time? Is that a big thing?
Well, I mean, you don't get the option on that. You're just like they arrive and you've got 7 minutes.
Why is
there's a clock running?
Why is Will's football performances better than
other people's?
Michael Mann's football performances?
It's because
I just say Michael Mann.
No. But like, I think that it's. I'm not. Listen. I love football. I'm a big United fan, and but I'm even working with United. I'm completely treat them. I'm not a sycophant. I don't talk about like anything. Just it's like we're on business and we go. Yeah. I'm not trying to be their friend either. That's another thing. Is like no, don't get pally with them.
Yeah.
Anything like that. And it's and I'll hit them with a very concise piece of information to make sure that they know they're not going to look silly.
That's interesting.
That's important for them. And also then I tend to be quite high energy as well, which also needs.
So it feels less like a chore.
Yeah, and then also don't be afraid to be demanding of them as well, in the sense like a coach, which then they I think psychologically feed into, which then they want to then be better.
So was this something you realised on the very first one? Or
no,
was it like
I've been
after doing a few.
Working on it, like on doing so many and working with footballers all the time.
Go check out Will's website. We've got Van Dijk on there. We've got who else we got on there? Fernandes.
All the Liverpool team, all the United players.
You've done this stuff with the top people. Mm-hmm. Has that improved directing in other areas? Say you then go back to like a sketch, or is it just totally different?
No, it's just completely different.
Is it just totally different?
Yeah. It's like it's a whole other world in a way, and it's just such a tight, contained idea that you just have to execute. It's a fascinating thing. It's very niche. It's such a niche.
It is
kind of thing. And again, it's like something that started.
So how did you get into that?
So I started working.
Have you got an agent?
No, I don't. No, the first basically football stuff I did was through. It was basically through a guy who I knew called Rob, who had worked in a post-production house, and he was working on a football job and was like, "Oh, do you want to do this? I think you could be good at it." And that was it, really. It's all relationships a lot of the time.
Who you know.
Yeah. So I started with that, and then did more and more and more, and then just ended up, yeah, just doing football bits all over the joint.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love it. I do like working with footballers. It's great fun.
Yeah.
I think they seem to like me. I think it's like,
Well,
because I'm high energy as well when I'm on set. I don't seem high energy now, but like, I can be on set. But
well, yeah, you a director does their own performance, right?
Yeah,
It's
massively
like
so.
You
Yeah.
then kick into gear of like
it is that. It's all performance.
giving people what they need to hear or what
Sometimes
they need
I'm
to know.
absolutely knackered after doing like a football job.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I'm exhausted. And because I've just been super high energy for like so many hours in that day, just to like coax something out of them, because they're so like conscious of themselves and conscious of what they're being perceived as, that it's like and also like I make myself look stupid.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, and then they feel more comfortable, I think.
See, these are the kind of things that like no film school can teach that stuff. But it's finding your own method, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what's going to work and
yeah.
Like, and I think some of these things are so hard to teach, aren't they? Because if there was a formula, everything would turn out great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, or everyone would be able to do that.
Or everyone would be able to do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
which I don't want them to do because they'll take my work.
No. I mean, eventually, after your 5-year hiatus of not getting on Hollyoaks, you did get to start directing.
Yep.
A soap.
Yeah, I did. Well, I trained on Corrie as well.
You did Corrie?
Yeah, well, I trained on it.
Trained on it.
Yeah, like I did.
So what does training look like?
It's like where they get you in and they give you scenes and then they give you actors and then they give you an actual crew from Corrie and then you shoot scenes and stuff and then they'll bring in like seasoned directors or producers and watch your stuff and go, well, why did you do it like that? Blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
You know, and like, would you do it like this or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. It was good.
How do they gauge what's bad? Because sometimes when I watch soaps, like I see some things and I'm like,
but you can tell when there's a hand in it, can't you? Can you tell when someone's got a grip or something, or there's an author on something, or someone's got pushing something in a certain way?
I definitely going to come to that because I think because I did watch when you announced that you were doing some Hollyoaks, I did watch one of the episodes you did, and I could totally see a filmmaker behind some of those scenes.
Yeah, just trying to do something.
Do something different than what I'm used to seeing. On a soap.
But yeah, that's when I did. Yeah, sorry, I did Corrie before that.
So you did Corrie?
But it was basically just shooting stuff like that. And I'd shot some like second unit with Mike, I'd shadowed on Corrie as well, and stuff like that. So yeah, but then went on to. But that was more about just learning. It's more about learning the systems.
Right. Okay.
In those types
so
of
what was the biggest adjustment stepping into that role in that environment? So you were a director, like all this like, oh, I'm not a filmmaker. You were totally a filmmaker at this point, but there's a difference between stepping in to then directing something with a larger crew, tighter turnarounds possibly.
Massively. Yeah.
Do you want to just talk about that?
It's like obviously you've got pages, you've got to have a lot to shoot. You tend to but what I liked about Hollyoaks a lot is it's single camera, so essentially it's the same methodology of like a traditional drama, whereas like multicam is like Corrie is multicam.
Oh, okay.
Whereas Hollyoaks is single camera.
Okay.
So you don't shoot as many pages in a day. It's still tough, but it's not like Corrie do loads, there's like, what was the most important things? What was the question?
No, like what? So the biggest adjustment stepping into directing something like Hollyoaks as opposed to, I don't know, directing Chippy Tea, for instance. I mean, you said one of the things is there's no producer hat. You're not wearing the producer hat.
Like you're not having to do everything, I guess.
Indie shorts.
Indie films, indie features, indie shorts.
You might be finding a location.
When you're doing films, aren't you? You're shooting. Are you shooting? Are you ADing?
Yeah. You're doing all that stuff.
Yeah, you're line producing.
So what are your key responsibilities then on set? Performance, and because you do like to get involved in the camera side as well. Don't you?
Performance, and then blocking and like the way you're going to shoot it, and collaboration, and in the sense of like helping the actors. And it's a thing with the helping the actors because they're being pushed and pulled all over the place. And it's like, I don't think anyone gives enough respect to soap actors a lot of the time because, they might be shooting 26 episodes all at once and they're like getting pulled and pushed between.
There's definitely a skill in like
massively
churning out watchable content.
Yeah.
And content's the wrong word, but something watchable.
Yeah. Stories.
Multiple times a week.
Yeah. And it's like, so like helping them the best you can. And just like, also the other thing that's important, I know it sounds silly as well, is like the guys who are there who are crew a lot of the time, they're there all the time, that's their job. So like, you do like a drama, it's all freelance or whatever, so they dip in and out, and you know, they might not work for another couple of months, and they'll go on to a different shoot, or they'll do. If you've got
as a director,
no, the crews as well.
Sorry.
But like if you have the crew on something like Corrie or Hollyoaks or whatever, they're generally full-time staff. So what's nice if you've got it about you as giving a fuck about people, then like if you try and make their lives nicer and easier, they'll like you more because they're there all the time. And that's something I learned from when I was on Shameless, say, for example.
Yeah.
So that coming back to that, when I was there as a crew member there, I know that was still freelance, and like a trad drama, but the shoots for those, the 2 seasons I did were like 260-day shoots.
Wow.
Like in each year, we were doing like months and months and months and months, and you were in the studio every day. We were in there at like 6:30. We were leaving it after 7 every single day in the thing. And it's like the difference that you had with like a director who was like, you have some people who were just like, it's my time, fuck you.
Really?
Oh yeah.
On the soap?
Yeah.
Or is this on
like
Shameless?
no, like both. Like as a director, it'd be like, this is my time, fuck you. So we're going to go as long as I want, and we'll do as many takes as we want.
I thought the point of like those type of things was like you're in, you're out.
No, like there'll be people who will be like that. So it's like, so if you're then the crew, you're like,
they think they're making Eyes Wide Shut.
yeah. Certain people, yeah, absolutely, yeah. You definitely have that.
Right, okay.
And so if you've got something, you know, an awareness of like people and like helping, you know, I can think about a scene and go, well, we could shoot this in an efficient way, and like we can do all the work and it'll look good and do a good, and it's like going to take less time than is been assigned to it, which means that everyone can go home half an hour earlier, then why not? Yeah. It's not going to be like, it's not making it worse or anything like that.
Yeah, because to me, like I've not directed, so I don't know. Maybe a perfectionist element would kick in, but it comes and goes. A new story comes next week.
You just got to be pragmatic.
Let go.
You just got to be pragmatic. That's all. Yeah, it's just pragmatism, creative problem solving. It's like, I remember like on my last block I did, there was like a scene where it was like, it's a two-hander in a club.
Yeah.
But I had like little rules that I set in my own head about certain stuff. So it'd be like, if I had a scene, if you ever get your page, you get your scripts and you go, okay, so this scene is like 1 page. I'd be happy enough to essentially do one setup for 1 page. Does that make sense? So like if it's
right.
What I mean is like, if it goes over a page, I need to either move the camera or move the actors to keep it engaging for an audience.
Interesting.
Just as an idea, like just as a rough idea. It's not like that's a hard rule.
No.
But like
at the end of that line.
Yeah. Move. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no,
that's an interesting rule.
It's just something to think about. Like think about, because sometimes you'll watch where people aren't either confident or they're not. The way that they set it, and it might be a 4-page scene or a 3-page scene, and it's 2 people talking. And they go to the 2 actors, just sit there, you 2 sit there, and we'll just cross-shoot the whole thing. And then when you're watching it back, as an audience, you're like, I'm bored now, because it's the same thing like back and forth.
Yeah.
Now, occasionally that can work if it's something that's really important or an intense scene or something. Yeah.
Or if you're Ozu.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, of course, yeah. But but I think people's expectations are slightly different as well. But I think it's something where I think you can then look into the script and work with the actor and say, well, at this point, do you think that you would go here or move here, or is it important that you're this close to them at this point, or is it important that you get further away to fit within the script? And
so has your filmmaking got way more into the psychology of character now?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, we talked about like this, the thing with like thinking about script now is more important. It's just like that kind of drilling into the reasons for stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
In the, I don't know. And I think that's just as I've got older. So yeah, it was like stuff like that, and I enjoyed it. I love being there. And,
so
the crew.
Do you want to tell people how long you actually did? Because you did, what did you, 35 episodes?
It was about 30. Yeah, about 30 eps. It was like, I think there's probably equivalent of 35 because of the amount of pickups I did.
Okay.
But it's over about 2 years. So yeah.
Wow.
It was good. I was there a lot. I was like back and forth, like get asked back.
And I think it's worth saying, because you had our friend Terry on there.
Oh yeah.
And he said that the regulars were big fans of you. The regular actors were. Will's a legend.
Well, it's very nice of them to say. Yeah, they were good. There's some great actors.
I don't think Terry agreed.
No, I'm sure he didn't. He was great in it though. Yeah. I remember. I got him in, and Oh, bless him. He was nervous. I remember him being nervous and stuff, but he nailed it when we did it. And then I remember doing the show with like the producers and everyone afterwards, and they were like, "Who's this guy?
Who's this guy?"
Yeah, they're like, "Where did you find him?" And I was like,
"You just pulled him
and
off the street."
I was like, "That's Terry. Like, I know him from years ago.
From way back when.
That's Snake."
Yeah. So, I mean, is there anything then you can take back to making short films? Because we were talking before off mic, before this started, and you're now back doing sort of sketches, comedy sketches and things like that, and you said it's like one of the hardest things is going back to having nothing.
Yeah, doing everything yourself kind of thing again. But just basically learning. It's just, again, like that kind of thing of just being in the factory of it all. You're just much better as an efficient filmmaker and like being pragmatic with scenes.
That is the exact word I've got here.
Yeah.
But like efficiency and decision making.
Yeah, and confident. I guess that's a good point. Like confident in saying, actually, we've got that, or I know this will work, or no, we can get around this with this. Or, you know, there's a lot of that comes through. It gives you the confidence to be able to have that kind of say about it. You know. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like I'm doing these sketches now. It's great, and but it's there's a lot of that where it's just now.
Well, I mean, what is the difference between comedy and drama? How do you approach the two things different? Because like a line of dialogue, I'm always say certain things. I'm looking for the poignancy, but comedy is so timing specific, isn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult.
Is that something you're mindful of all the time?
Yes.
The timing of the performance.
Yeah, and I think as well you shoot differently. You couldn't because you tend to you'll sit back a little bit, I think, and just you try and play twos or wide so that you can see the interaction or the timing play out. You know.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can shoot stuff to cover it off if you need to create that kind of timing in post. Excuse me. But
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Is it something that sometimes you might? Because I've got that as well. Like, can you sometimes find it in the edit if it wasn't there on the day?
Yeah, sometimes. But again, casting again, it's like, you know, you can. It's
so important.
Oh my God, yeah, and it's like it's comedy, live and die on it for sure. I mean, I guess drama does, doesn't it? But
No,
comedy,
I mean, if someone's not funny, they're not funny.
Yeah, they're not funny. Yeah, and I guess absolutely. But I think having confidence in your taste as well.
Yeah.
I think, you know, that's a director as well, isn't it? It's like it's really just about taste. I think being a director, that's literally kind of all it is. And it's
I mean, with comedy sketches, you're kind of going for a very broad type of humour. What is that? Can you put your finger on it, or is it something that's kind of the actors are bringing to it?
Do you mean the stuff I'm doing right now?
Yeah, the stuff you're doing now. It's aiming for that broad.
It's very broad,
northern humour, isn't it? Kind of thing.
Well, those guys, I guess it's because like I'd seen their stuff,
right?
And I knew
they've got a large following, haven't they?
Yeah. And I'd followed them before, and I knew one of them,
right?
And then now started. It's Joke TV, by the way.
Joke TV.
But they're so funny, and in real life they're hilarious. Like, and a lot of it all derives from them two together, and it's just like. But we hang out and then they make me laugh a lot, and we kind of work out what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And then it's like mainly their vision, and I, from my perspective, I talk to them and say, look, I'm here to facilitate this thing for you.
Right.
But I'll throw in stuff and I'll help kind of craft the comedy element of it. So it's essentially like, I'll be the kind of technical, but. Yeah, but like I find it funny as well, and like if I don't find it funny when we try.
You were saying though, like what was interesting, like before we were recording, you were saying about sometimes. What was this while we were recording? We've been speaking so long.
Sorry.
You were saying sometimes like they're very throwing ideas out and then getting them channeling that.
Yeah. I guess there's a lot of that where it's trying to kind of curtail them and kind of corral them into a place where we can. Like focus the energy more than anything. I think it's the energy in the room.
Yeah.
Because they get excited and it's like, and we all get excited and then we start making jokes.
We could do this. We could do that.
Yeah. And it's like
got to be the person
just throwing lines as well. Yeah. Just like changing stuff around and like it ends up by me going, no, we need to do this here.
Yeah.
Just to get this. And like a lot of the time it's because they're really ambitious on how much they want to shoot in a day. So they'll go to me, Will, can we do this? Can we shoot this in a day? And I'll look at it and go, well, it's going to be tough because there's only like 4 of us or whatever. And but we'll try and make it work.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the time it'll be me then having to push us forward just to make sure that we get what we need.
Yeah. I mean, do you think 22-year-old Will have the skills and the knowledge to be able to do what you're doing now?
No, not at all. Not at all.
In what way?
It's
Actually, could you tell the story about making a recent short film? Because we discussed that off mic where you said an owner of a location came in.
Yeah.
And it's like,
so yeah,
those are the things that.
Yeah,
it's 10,000 hours, isn't it?
Exactly.
You need that time.
The
So go on, tell the story.
So yeah, no, it's just literally we would my last short film I did was called Roll of Apes, which you can watch on YouTube and on my website now. It's great. I'm really happy with Dave in it, who's the lead performance. He's really funny. It's written by my friend Tim. Me and Tim wrote the story and there's bits together, and Tim, he did an amazing job. And but yeah, basically it was just like the majority of the film was set in a pub, and I'd spoken to this guy who was the manager of the pub, and he was like, yeah, sure, you can shoot here. We open at 4, but I'll let you in early. It was like just before 8 o'clock, and so we got there. He let us in, and I'd paid for this, and I think we got going, we're setting up, and then I think just by chance the guy who owned the pub came past at the time and saw this crew in there, and he came in and kicked off and went mental. And as he was in there going nuts as well, we were hazing the place and we set the fire alarm off.
Wow.
Just as he was in there, the owner and stuff. So
they
go,
what the fuck's
yeah, what's going on? What is this? And so basically then they kind of panicked a little bit and said, and it's probably about 9 pages, 10 pages.
Right.
And they panicked a little bit, the guy who let us in there, and we were supposed to have 8 hours to shoot. And I'd got 2 cameras, and I thought 8 hours is going to be tough to shoot properly, 8-10 pages anyway with 2 cameras, and they were just gonna like, right, now we're gonna boot you out early. They were like, right, sorry, you can't stay now. So even though we paid and all that, they were just like, so I basically had to talk to my first AD, who was amazing, a guy called Jamie, and we were like, look, we're gonna have to flip the schedule. We were going to shoot everything outside first, then everything inside for the weather. So it was going to screw up like where the sun was for where we were lighting. We had that, we had all these different things, because we could then be unpacking the room as we moved out, so we could go into out. Then we're having to shoot scenes really economically. It was essentially like far less coverage than I'd want to get, or not concentrating on performance as much as I'd like, just because we were suddenly right, okay, you've got 5 hours to do this now instead of having 8, and you still got to get it all. And because you've arranged 20 people to be there, and we've got gear and we've got all this kind of stuff and everything. So we just had to flip it on its head and just start going for it and shooting as much as I could. And we managed to get it all, and I think a lot of it's pretty good. But yeah, it was. But that's, again, like you said, I think it was something that I wouldn't have been confident to do that.
No.
If I hadn't done loads of stuff.
Do you think maybe like 21 you would have dug your heels in and gone, we'll have to come back another day? Or we're going to have to rethink this and stop and...
Yeah, maybe. I think I might have done like, I probably would have just kept shooting in the order I was trying, and maybe not got it, or like just maybe might have gone, even regressed into the point of shooting it as just one way and like not picked it up or shot it properly, or I don't know. I think doing a load of things...
It's something I talk to students a lot about though, like, it's like muscle memory, isn't it? Like when you've done it so often, when your back's against the ropes, you're like, I know how to do this.
But if you've encountered the problems as well,
Exactly.
certain things before, like problems with sound, problems with location, problems with lighting, problems with everything, you can just, if you've done it before...
So what does get prioritised for you when something like that happens, when time and resources suddenly get cut?
Again, it's like...
Because you're still making a short film, you don't want it to be shit, you want it to be watchable.
Performance, I guess, is like a thing that I'll start concentrating on then the most. And it's kind of like, but luckily I'll have people around me I can rely on with visuals now. But yeah, straight into performance stuff and making sure that we've got everything we need to make sure it works and it's funny and stuff. But yeah, I think it's like an autopilot, like you say. Like muscle memory, where you just suddenly start... and also...
I mean, totally, because I had it on X, where certain things happened and 21-year-old Mark wouldn't have known what to do. I just wouldn't. And this is like something that sometimes with film students, there's a kind of a sense that I know the gear, I know this, I know that, but actually you've never really been in the position where your back's against the ropes, and I think having those experiences, that's what makes you
massively.
a better filmmaker.
I think even if you just did... Like one of your previous guests, and I think it was smart, like he was saying, is like, it's like if you go out and make 3 short films and make them and be as ambitious as you can, and do it with a phone or do it with whatever, and experience all the problems you're going to have with that. Yeah. And as bad as it's going to be, and then also experience the problems you're going to have in the edit, and all these other things. And even if you never do anything with any of them, at least you've done it. And if you can, try and experience a real set as well. I say a real set, that sounds... not snobbish, but like I think go and do it on go and watch a professional set and see how that works.
Yeah.
Because it's a different experience again.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, this is interesting because I had an issue obviously with the sound person that I spoke about. How do you set those boundaries on an indie set? Because I do think some people approach indie with, this is a bit of fun.
Sure. Well, I don't know. I think it's like I generally use people who I know.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of the time, when I ever do stuff, it's with friends.
Yeah.
And it's always people who I've met working in the industry as well.
Yeah.
So it tends to be less stressful in that sense for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I know I'll totally rely on those people.
Yeah.
And, so I haven't really ever had that kind of problem.
I made a mistake there, giving someone an opportunity.
Sorry.
No, I did, because, like, I talked about in the episode, there was red flags that I ignored because I was trying to give someone an opportunity.
Sure, yeah.
Whereas, like, if it was Terry, for instance, I'd have been like, Terry, you're taking the piss.
Yeah.
I'd have said it outright. He's taking the piss. So if someone came to you now, like, filmmaking course, whatever, aspirations to be a director, what would you say to them? Like, how because actually, I think there's like a reality to all this. You've done all this shit. Mm-hmm. Well, not shit, but you've done all this stuff.
A lot
like you've done short films that have won awards, you've BFI funding, you've done Hollyoaks, you've done commercials, and yet now you've found yourself in a position where you've almost gone back 20 years to doing YouTube sketches again.
Yeah. What would I say? I guess it's because if you're hunting for like an audience, like I was saying to you before, it's like YouTube seems to be kind of a growing thing with younger people and audiences there. So it'd be, I don't know, it's like making stuff for that, I think seems like is the future really, in a way, if that's, and like a lot of people seem to be, a lot of organisations seem to be looking to invest in that.
Yeah.
There's obviously vertical dramas as well, which is going to go off as well soon. Yeah. But if someone wanted to be a director, it's so difficult, isn't it? It seems so cliche to say, oh, just go make something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It just seems mad cliche that. But like, I guess it's watch tons of stuff.
Yeah.
Work out what you're interested in as well. Like, what is it you care about? What you're interested in? And sometimes you might not be able to make, because you're like, oh, I really love, I'm really into kind of like, cop dramas, say for example, or something, which rule. And you're like, but then I don't think I can make that because I don't have the resources or anything like that. Like, so think about it try and think outside the box and go, okay, well, I can make a film that's in that world but set in this portion of it and make something like that. I don't know, it's just try and make something that and don't be disheartened if it's not good.
Yeah.
Because it probably won't be a lot of the time, and there's going to be a lot of problems and you're never going to like everything about it. But just either try and do another one and learn from what you've done wrong, or I don't know, it's a difficult one to know on that. But it's like, I guess it takes a certain type of person who's just wants to just keep going, and like, I think...
Well, for me, like, I always thought Will would be someone who made a feature film very much in the style of... When I first met you, I thought, Will's going to make kind of like an Eastern Promises feature. Oh, yeah. That's totally the type of stuff I see Will doing.
The rules, yeah.
What? At some point you decided you didn't want to go down that route, didn't you? What was it that... Because I imagine you wanted to make a feature at some point.
I still do. I want to make features. I've always wanted to make features, and I've always wanted to make them all the time. And I think about them all the time. And I've got a folder on my computer with like multiple ideas.
So what is it that's stopping you making that leap?
I'm terrified.
Terrified.
I'm scared of making.
Really?
I'm so scared of making a feature. Yeah.
I think that's good for people to hear, because like, rather than those stock answers of, oh, do it, do this, get stuck in. Like, there isn't, you bear yourself, don't you?
I think the other thing as well is, I think when you're you've got a bit older as well, and you've also had the experience of making stuff, you come to the realization, or you have the understanding of how difficult this is going to be.
Yeah.
And how much of a commitment it's going to be, how much of your life it's going to take.
Yeah.
And then when you start thinking about all that kind of stuff, you then go, well, it needs to be fucking good then.
Yeah.
Because if it's not, and I've done all this stuff, and I've committed to all this stuff and all this, then is it a waste? Who knows? It's like that's a question to think about.
But shorts are definitely smaller stakes in that regard, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
You make something, you learn from it.
You move
could
on.
Be good. You
might
move
not
on,
be.
You let it go.
Yeah, exactly. But like, obviously, like a feature.
It's big commitment.
Yeah, and that's why, like, I've got mad respect for you for like having done 3. I haven't done 1, and it's so I I feel like I have an understanding of how it would be, like because I understand how how it works.
You know filmmaking.
Yeah.
Like,
but
you
like,
totally do.
I'm scared of doing it because of how much I think it would take to do, and then I don't know. It's a weird one. Also, it's like I find it really difficult to write something that long as well. In a way, like that's another huge commitment. To write something that long is such hard work.
Yeah.
But it's so hard.
I mean, one of the things we were talking
scripts.
about before we started recording was last week's episode, and we were talking about the hard realities now of 30 years ago. The huge hurdle was getting something shot because you're dealing with film, you're dealing with all that money that's involved in that. So if you've made it, the chances are it's got a chance. Whereas now, there's so much stuff online, there's so much out there, getting eyes, and that's one of the things Jonathan talked about last week. That is such a huge hurdle now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like you said, like we were talking about, I think the fact that you'd even got it done in the first place and actually got something made.
Like an El Mariachi.
25 years ago or whatever, maybe a bit more, was like, that was enough.
Yeah.
And that meant you got in front of people because of it. I think now I wouldn't say it's easy to make one. You could do it easily. That's what I'm saying. As in, like, if you don't really care that much, or you just want to blast something out, you could make a feature in a week if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And if you weren't putting that much care into it.
It's tricky, innit? Because it's like, it is so easy, but there's the flip side. It's so much time, like you're saying.
It's so hard.
Like,
well, that's it. If you want to do it right, it's so hard.
Yeah,
it's like, it's one of the hardest things, I think. And like I say, I'm scared to do it because I'm scared of putting in that much time, putting in that much everything, and then it to suck.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to do it. I mean, I probably will do it at some point. I need to do it. But I feel like there's certain technological things that have come around recently where I'm feeling more confident to be able to do it a little bit.
And what would they be?
Just like, it's like certain sound stuff, certain like camera stuff, things like that, where I feel like actually I could probably get away with doing this with a slightly more reduced crew than I would have done before. And all this, but I've still got to write it. That's the other thing, is like, I'm not asking someone else to write that for you. I could go to a writer, a friend of mine, and go, look, I've got this idea for a short film. What do you think? And they go, yeah, it's great, blah, 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 and we bounce ideas back and forth.
Yeah.
And then they might go away and come back a week later and go, hey, I've written it. Written it. What the hell is that? I've written it, and you go, oh my god, it's like, and that's amazing, and it's genuinely great already. But something like a feature is like, okay, I've got to grind for a year now. On this,
if not longer.
Or more, and like a real heavy commitment on that.
Because
I'm scared of that as well.
But no, because like you've got such a. It was so interesting before hearing you come on mic where you were talking about like when you've had a crew and then going back to doing sketches, because the reality is with indie film, you're probably doing it more like the sketches with a smaller crew. So there'd be way more demands on you as a person.
Yeah, well, I know, like, doing, like, when I'm doing stuff with, recently with these guys doing sketches for YouTube, like, you're exhausted when you've done, like, you've put in loads of stuff mentally, and you're doing all this kind of thing, and you might even done 2 days shooting, for example, and you're knackered. So I can imagine if you're doing a feature, even if you're doing 10 days or something, or if you're doing all those roles, it'll just be draining, absolutely draining, I suspect.
I mean, but in spite of that, like, you have been going for 20 odd years now. What has kept you going?
I love it.
You love it?
Yeah. I love it.
Do you know what, right? And so many people who've come on the podcast say they love it. And one of the things for me, like I spoke about in this one episode, like sometimes when people are like, oh, I want to do filmmaking, and you've done a bit of teaching, and it's like, you haven't got it in you to do this, because there is an element of passion that gets you over the line. I saw this thing come up on LinkedIn yesterday, and it was an academic paper about why micro-budget films don't get finished, and it's not always a case of passion getting over the line. It's like, I looked at it and I thought, this is academic bullshit, because to me, a will to get it over the line, there is such a thing as that, loving it, that gets you over the line.
I can believe that.
I can absolutely it does for you. Like, look how many shorts you've done. That's not like someone who's just messing around. Like, to do what you've done, like, there's a passion there that's kept you going.
Yeah. And I think it's like just having the thing of like just loving just the certain aspects and elements of it as well. Like, I think realizing early on, like, that you love actors and stuff, and then also like that you've got like a taste, or like that you love the visuals of it as well, and like just absorbing so many movies. I guess it's just wanting to be in and around that world, isn't it? As much as you can.
With shorts, when do you know? What's the point where you know to let go? Because this is a thing I see with some students, they can't let go of it.
Yeah, like tinkering in post and stuff and all that kind of thing.
Because obviously with soaps, it's taken off you. And with adverts, they will tinker until it's perfect.
Oh,
but
yeah,
with a short, when do you know, right, okay, that's what it is?
That's a really interesting question. I don't know whether it's just actually just a feeling.
Yeah.
I know that's like really quite hard, like kind of not a great answer, but like it's sometimes, you know, where you're just like looking at it and you feel like it's right, or obviously I'll, you know, send it to people and ask for feedback and like get people to watch stuff. But sometimes I think it's just like, oh, I think this is a feeling will do it for me, rather than anything that's specifically technical or like anything like that, you know. And then obviously most of the things I've ever made, I'll go back and be like, this should be shorter. Like pretty much everything. like what was I thinking?
So we look at MA fiction film, Will, who everyone was like in awe of.
Yeah.
What would he think about what you're doing now? And
I think it was like, again, like
everything, career.
Oh, I think it'd be. That's a good question actually.
You're like, this is a shit question, but then you're like, oh no.
No, yeah, no.
It might not be coming out quite right. I'm still new to this interview.
No. It's it's good. I think I'd be relatively happy to some extent. I think it'd be like, well, you know, happy that you've touched a lot of different aspects of it.
Yeah.
But I think he'd be disappointed that I didn't care as much about like the aesthetics of it as much as I do. I don't now. I'm much more about other stuff. So it's like I think I was much more aesthetic driven.
We all come to realise Ozu was the god of cinema. Like it wasn't about.
But like that's the thing is like that's not what. Yeah, I wouldn't watch an Ozu film now though.
Would you not?
No, not really.
What, Tokyo Story?
Yeah, I mean I've got it and I've watched it, but like it's not what
film.
I wouldn't like sit and watch it now.
Oh, that's not if that was on at the cinema tonight, I would go.
Would you?
Yeah. I've been and watched that a few times at the cinema.
I don't. I mean, yeah, it's fine.
Well, let's not get on to Ozu. But it's interesting what you're saying that the look of something is of less concern to you.
Yeah.
Because maybe I think that was an element of what everyone admired you for.
Yeah.
Like, because film students are always aspiring to that, and everyone was looking at Will's stuff and goes, it looks like a film. I mean, obviously didn't, because we were like working on super low-end technology.
Yeah. But it was like, I think it's something that I was obsessed with at the time, and I can see that. And but yeah, it's something I'm less. But I feel like it's something that I can hand over, and I'm like, and I've met so many great DOPs, and met some of my really good friends.
Yeah.
And it's like where you meet them, and they talk to you, and you can talk about essentially feeling like, or like, what's the important part of this? And what should it feel like, and all these kind of things, and that's them. They go, oh well, it's going to be like we should blah blah blah. You know, like, and I like that aspect of it now. Kind of just handing over and kind of working with people like that, rather than trying to just make it look, you know, like the imitation kind of style thing, or like before I was doing before, you know, when I was young. But and it was, but I don't know. It's
so
like
it'd be a mixed bag for 21-year-old Will looking at 40-odd-year-old Will.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Like all of us.
Probably.
Yeah. Some things have worked, some things.
Yeah, I think you'd probably be disappointed I hadn't done more stuff. But then, you know, you can't. Like, sometimes you're out of time, don't you?
Yeah.
And other things take over, you know, like, you know, I've got a kid now.
Yeah.
And, so that's important. And so, you know, that people talk about how that kind of, you can reframes a lot of stuff for you as well. And but it also it doesn't change. Luckily, I've got an amazing wife who's like in this industry as well, so she understands and all this kind of stuff. So I don't think there's ever been anything that's going to be like, I'm going to do less or I'm going to do anything like that. It's more like it's reframed that, like, so I've already written another short that I'm going to do this year.
Okay.
That's got elements from this experience already into it.
Really?
Yeah. So I think that's changed something as well, in a way. So that's interesting, in a personal way.
Will's finally coming over to the dark side of personal film.
Well, yeah, it is, but at the same time, it's like, it's still about stuff that
Is it comedic?
No. But it's like,
are we back to, we're full circle?
Well, yeah, we're crime again. It's crime again as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Red traffic with a baby?
But,
For those listening, Red Traffic was about...
it was like people trafficking.
Yeah.
By Russian gangsters, yeah.
So nothing like that, though?
No.
But back to sort of serious
It's
drama.
It's a serious thing. I wanted to set it in a criminal world, but it's like a small, a serious personal story in a criminal world, basically. So yeah.
I love the sound of this.
Okay. It's much more you know what? It's like, you've seen Mikey Nick, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Cassavetes.
The Cassavetes, yeah. He's incredible. Well, yeah. It's
well, no, he wasn't the director, but
yeah, it was. It's Jane.
What's it called?
Ellen May. Is it Ellen May? No.
I don't know.
Oh God, my head's gone now.
Answers on a postcard.
My head's gone.
He didn't direct it.
No, he didn't.
He was the star of it.
Elaine May.
Yeah.
It's Elaine May, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure. And it's Peter Falk.
Yeah.
And them two. It's just an incredible movie. Like Criterion got that.
Yeah,
it's
I've
good.
got it on
I've got it.
Criterion,
Yeah, me too. Yeah. We both love physical media.
I know you're the only one. When your letterboxd account is always like 4K, watched on 4K Arrow, and you're the only other person I notice who puts that, because it's like,
yeah.
To me, it's still the best way to watch things.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. But Mike and Nicky, which I love, it's just such a dirty looking movie and amazing, and like, yeah, it's like that's the kind of the world. And if I was going to do a feature, that would be the kind of tone and world I like. 70s crime kind of stuff, I think. So, but I've got an idea for one that I've started working on.
Wow.
But I don't think it'll happen because I'm scared.
You're scared?
We'll see.
Do you know though, like, I admire you admitting that, because like people would think, so you've directed Hollyoaks, you've had BFI funding, you've done all these award-winning shorts, and yet something with that hurdle, there's a fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, massively.
And the fear is just your own expectations, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I guess it's a thing where it's like, maybe it's a thing where something's on fire.
Yeah.
Well,
There's that gritty 70s world you want.
Yeah.
Do you know though, you think of films like Panic in Needle Park, for instance,
yeah,
and like, we were so much more forgiving with like the look,
the quality,
like the
stuff.
quality,
Yeah.
Things have got so crisp and beautiful now that like people are not willing to embrace that.
That's true.
That thing that I loved about cinema from the 70s.
Yeah. Well, it just feels real.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
a little bit
grimy.
of dirt under the nails.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's like I watched the 4K Criterion of Night Moves the other day.
Oh,
and,
I bought it.
Oh yeah.
It was a blind watch for me. I'd never seen it before.
Oh right, okay.
And I'd read a few reviews, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself. And I watched it on 4K. I was like, this is great.
Yeah. But like the thing about it, what I thought was really interesting is, even though it's like on a massive 4K rescan cleanup, it's still grimy as fuck.
Exactly.
It's so dirty and grimy and sweaty.
And do you know what? And flies in the face of like these script writing gurus who'd be like the film. A big bunch of it is him on this caravan park, not doing much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Knocking about. Yeah.
They'd be like, well, what's he trying to achieve here? Like, he needs to be aiming towards that goal all the time. And we've lost some of those human moments. That
we're just like living within this world and living with this character.
Exactly.
And
Stuff that like is what draws me to cinema. Because cinema does that in ways that other art forms don't.
Sure.
Like you can depict someone's isolation in ways that a song couldn't, or well, a painting could. But do you know what I mean? Like those human moments have been lost a little bit for me in contemporary cinema.
Yeah. Well, I think that's true, and I think like.
Well, I mean, there are people doing it, of course, but like they're not getting the platform that they had. Like back then, you had a Gene Hackman doing it. You had an Al Pacino doing it.
Yeah.
You had these studios throwing money at this stuff.
Well, yeah, I guess it's that because of the time, and they didn't know what they were doing, so they were giving money to amazing stuff like that. But like it's, I think. Yeah, it's funny you said painting there as well. That was interesting. I thought that I went to a gallery, and it was like I was looking at the work, and I thought the emotion I felt from looking at painting and these paintings, masterworks or whatever, was, and I was like, this has only been equaled by cinema, and it's only been equaled by certain people in cinema as well. You know, like I think Kubrick's like people admire him so much. And I mean, he's one of the greatest ever, I think for sure. But he does that thing where. He has like an incredible marriage of all the elements to create that feeling. It's the only other things I watch, his stuff where you get that same emotional feeling. But I think I love the Night Moves and stuff like that. It was a great watch the other day. And I don't really know what I was saying.
No, well, you were talking about going back into that world of drama. But what I think is interesting with the Kubrick thing is, he didn't do a ton of them in his life, did he?
No.
It took so much out of him. And it's that balance, isn't it, between getting into the levels he would go but also making stuff.
Yeah.
Because you can be bogged down to such an extent, which I think he was.
Oh yeah. I think so. Yeah, I think he put too much weight on himself to do stuff. But yeah.
So would that be the thing that's kind of you're still trying to do that you haven't cracked yet, or is there other things in the world of filmmaking that you're like? Sorry for the van. Is there other things that you're like? I still haven't done this.
I would love to do more. I'd love to try and get more like TV work. That'd be great.
Okay.
I'd love to do more just because I just love the experience of it and like working with actors and stuff.
Yeah.
I think still. Yeah, I mean, again, we're back to features, and it's like.
That's the hurdle.
Yeah, that's the hurdle. I'd love to. I think I should do it. I think I'd literally should do it. You know what I mean? It's one of the things where it's like I actually should.
Well,
do it.
I think like, would it be a deathbed regret? And I think for you, it would be
it
like.
might be. Yeah, I think
that
that's
would be the thing that like.
I think it is.
21-year-old Will would smack 90-year-old Will around the face.
Yeah, and be like, why?
What were you doing?
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think it would be a regret, and but it's just coming to yeah.
No, it's
but
tough,
I can see why. Like you talked about things like most people only ever make one.
Yeah.
But do you know what the other thing is? If I made one and it wasn't shit, and I was semi happy with it, I might not make another. Do you know what I mean? I might be like,
You're getting to Tarantino territory.
Well,
I want this perfect filmography.
I've done the thing that I wanted to do, and that's it.
I think that was pretty much all of my questions.
Amazing.
Is there any final thoughts that you want to send out to aspiring filmmakers? Because I want this to be something that maybe people can learn from and that they can.
I think it's like don't tie yourself down to anything specific or particular.
Yeah.
I think because that's something like you talk about. I don't think about it because I generally don't think about. I don't sit and either lament or kind of.
No, I mean, I don't. It's like,
but it's like a thing where I think I've done stuff in making stuff myself.
Yeah.
I've done stuff making stuff commercials all over the world for brands. I've done making TV. I've done all this stuff, and like I've had a great time doing it. And I think don't tie yourself down because it can all be within that same enjoyment of making films or making something visual media. So don't feel like you have to, like in your mind you might be, you might talk about your students or younger people like that. They might go, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make these, I'm going to make films, I'm going to do. It's like it's all can be a learning experience. It can all be fun. It can all be all those kind of things. So don't tie yourself down. And now, like I say, I'm back. I'm making little short episode comedy things for YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's something I kind of wasn't doing before, and now I'm doing now. And and there's no like. Oh, I fucked up because I'm down here doing this now. No, it's like this is all the same world. I'm operating within the same world, and I'm doing that. It's great, and I'm loving it. I'm actually having such an amazing time with these guys, the Joke TV guys.
Because you're knocking them out like one a week, is it?
We shoot. Well, they're coming out one a week at the moment, but we tend to shoot. It'll probably be like one a day, but that's split over. So we'll write all the scripts and then break it all down, and then set up maybe it'll be 6 or 8 days shooting for 6 episodes.
Wow.
And we just blast through all those, but yeah, it's great.
How many can we expect to them?
So there's the 5th episode on Sunday of the new series of police. It's Manchester Interceptors. Yeah. So it's just the silly police.
So it's like the couple of cops, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're in like Frank Drebin type cops, aren't they?
Kind of, yeah. But it's like more like those Channel 5 series, those mock. Well, we're making,
it's still like a mockumentary, but they're kind of inept, aren't
exactly,
they?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So that, and then we've just shot another 4 days of it. We did another 4 days, like the last 2 weeks we've done, and then we've got a couple more days coming up, and so there'll be another 6 episodes, I think. Okay. But they'll probably come in a couple of months. So but yeah, it's great fun, and like I'd say, don't. As part, that was from the point of just make everything and anything. Because it's all can be fun and learning, and and. That's it. And it doesn't. You don't have to show everything off that you've made. It's like it's just part of it.
And any don'ts that you've learned, or that you would now, I shouldn't have done that.
I don't know. Not really. Not really. I just don't take the piss out of people. I don't
take the piss out of people.
Yeah. Or just be nice.
Be nice.
And it's like that's the other thing. Is like I've got a lot of people seem to like. I can call on people to come and help and work and do stuff with me, and it's like because I think I've had nice times with them in the past,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like we've created. That's it. I guess you know what it is. It's build relationships, and like if you can build long-standing relationships with people,
Yeah.
then they'll work for you or with you or all these kind of things.
Yeah.
And be happy to do so. So
Yeah. And before we wrap this, could you take an estimate of the MA fiction film production? How many are still in the trenches from your cohort?
It's so long ago in my mind that I don't even remember most
You
stuff.
don't remember them?
No, I do. So there's like, I know there's a few for sure.
A few.
There's a couple.
I think there's a few from my cohort.
So was there like probably 20 students per year? Was it something like
so.
that around then?
Yeah, yeah.
What, you're talking probably 15, 20% max, maybe?
That's still doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of vibe, isn't it? I'd
Yeah.
say.
I think so.
But I think what it was, the reason why the ones who were still doing it, are the ones who identified the role in which they were really wanted to
Yeah.
do early. So it'd be like, someone would be like, right, okay,
an editor.
I want to be an editor.
I'm a director.
Yeah. Or like, I want to, be and work in some level of production, or I want to, that kind of thing. If they can identify the thing that they actually wanted and then drive towards that, if you can do that early enough, then you can carry on and doing it, And also just be humble enough to be working as a runner or a trainee or anything like that to start with,
Yeah.
You'll get there, because that was the thing. Like my first job, like when I started on Shameless, was a camera trainee, and I got interviewed by the DOP, and and it was part of a scheme as well. Like I can't remember what it was called, but it was like the production I worked on the production for free, I was paid by the scheme, so the production didn't have to pay me. So they're happy to take you, So basically, I got interviewed and did that, and I didn't get the job.
Okay.
And then someone else got the job who'd got slightly more experience than me. And then they basically quit after like a couple of days, because I think they were there as a camera trainee, and they thought they were going to get to like operate the camera and pick the shots and stuff and everything. And they'd quit like after 2 days, because they were making tea.
Yeah.
And they rang me up, and it was on a Friday, and they would start shooting on the Monday, and they were like, "Oh, the person's quit. If you can get down here by like 10 o'clock in the morning, you can have the job."
Yeah.
And I was hungover. I was like gunning it down to the studio, and got there and got the job, and that was my thing. So I didn't get it, and I got it basically because someone else dropped out. So it's a lot of luck as well, and a lot of all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah.
That's so interesting. Just to wrap this up, I know of a colleague a number of years ago was running this filmmaking module, and they were preparing their CVs, and they were looking for work experience, and this student emailed Pinewood and said, "I'm a DOP, I'm ready for work."
Amazing.
And it's like,
Good luck.
exactly.
Oh man. Yeah, you do see that, and that certain people come out, and I think it's just like, yeah, you're going to be making tea probably and stuff, and that was cool. I used to love doing all that, and I learnt loads in those 2 years doing that.
Yeah.
So
Will, it's been a pleasure, Will.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
After 20 years.
20 years
we
of
met 20 years ago
friendship.
this year.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
Thanks, Will.
Well, thanks for having me.
Cheers.
I appreciate it.
Thanks
Watch
for doing
Roller
it.
Vapes.
All the vape. What's it called?
Roller
I thought you
Vapes.
said all the vapes.
No.
Then. Roller Vapes.
Roller Vapes,
Roller
yeah.
Vapes now on YouTube.
Yeah.
And,
you can find them on my website.
And the Interceptors.
Oh, yeah, that's on YouTube as well.
Joke TV.
Joke TV, YouTube. Yeah, they're great.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you.